Hi guys. A lot of these giant prehistoric creatures that once inhabited the earth. These giant animals include, well, dinosaurs, giant snake crocodile, even ones the size of a car. It's also normal. But today, there are only a few large animals on our planet. What happened? At SAO the giant animals. There's not much left. First, we have to talk about the environment. It helped the creation of these giant relics. The prehistoric Earth is a unique array of 6 places, bearing a huge area, with a thriving flora, has contributed to encouraging growth, spacious living environment, and the size of the animals. Next to it, the concentration of oxygen in the air is different now, so animals in prehistoric times developed all the special systems to be able to use oxygen more efficiently. According to research, animals with strong lung structure, they are often able to grow in size. The higher the amount of oxygen absorbed, combined with fresh air, will make animals healthier and bigger through many generations. Next is the evolution of food source competition. For animals, prehistoric times are always bigger. During the reign of the dinosaurs, very tall plants taller plants larger, so to eat the trees in the forest, the animals must be bigger. It's possible. Reach out my hose, or stretch your mouth to that position. Gradually over time, the big species became the ruler of the earth in ancient times. Meanwhile, the smaller creatures have to accept their fate, either live in hiding or be destroyed. When the earth is filled with giant creatures, they continue to interbreed and create offspring classes. The new generation also has such a large size, through evolution that's lasted for millions of years. The big animals are getting better and better, and reach its enormous size. And let's try to reverse the problem with the question, why do animals today? It's not very large. It's as big as a prehistoric animal. The answer comes from the change of the earth, the separation of the 6 places, and most importantly, is the rise of animals that are able to enjoy better doubt. The giant creatures. They are always the most affected. It's hard to adapt. With the disasters of climate change, the amount of oxygen decreased along with the amount of food also decreased. These are the 2 causes of death of the giant species. The body needs to eat a lot. You have to put a lot of food in. Clearly an outsized body always comes with a huge demand for oxygen and food. Meanwhile, small animals with less need for food. It's more in tune with the changing earth. Millions of years later, it's like being in a difficult time. A large company has a lot of employees. It's always harder than a company with fewer employees and lower pay. This leads to most of the animals have evolved with moderate size. Instead of increasing in size, it can't be big forever. When food is getting scarce, a few million years back, man has become one of the species, carry many characteristics, evolution in accordance with the times. The giant creatures, even if they appear, they cannot survive. It's because the environment has become increasingly isolated by humans. They surrender to the collective power of human beings. Before human intelligence, destroyed to the point of extinction, or being rebred by humans over time. People are an important cause. It's caused many organisms to become extinct. There are giant creatures in it, like mammoths, for example. When humans lived on Earth, the mammoths still exist. But then we hunted mammoths ourselves, and make this animal. It can no longer exist, along with other causes. These are the top giant creatures. It used to exist on Earth. Glidodon, an animal with super hard armor. It's about the size of a car. 3 million years ago from semicolon. For almost 12,000 years. A special organism called glidodon. It means that the trench has walked the earth. This giant animal is over 3 meters long, and weighs almost 2 t. They live in North and South America today. Apart from the kids, the glidodon also has a long and strong tail. It's accompanied by an armor that covers the entire body, with 1,000 sheets of bone cloth. They are one herbivorous species with relatively mild size. You never have to worry when dealing with people. Hunting. It's no different than a tank. Based on the damage found on fossil dull guitar case, scientists believe that this animal, rarely attacked by other species. Instead, they often fight each other to resolve territorial disputes. Or a partner. Titanopa giant python up to 15 m long. This is the largest python known to man. When comparing size to shape, their fossil spines, as well as modern snakes and pythons, scientists estimate that their bodies as adults are over 15 m long. It weighs about a ton. It weighs 10 by 1 as much as an adult anaconda moon. It's today, anaconda moon. They are also very famous for their size. Scientists still can't figure it out. What made this snake? It's so big. But there's a lot of speculation that, before, their area of habitation corresponds to South America. It's an area where temperatures are higher than they are now. Earth's warm climate. That period allowed the pythons, the cold-blooded snake, get a bigger size, compared to their relatives. Today, these giant pythons lived at the same time of dinosaurs. With that size python giant, may be willing to eat small dinosaurs. To satisfy my hunger, about why the giant python, Titanoba, is extinct. Many people believe that there were times Earth's temperature drops. It's making it difficult for these cold-blooded animals to adapt. With such a low-temperature environment, Megatherium giant sloth, they've created mysterious tunnels in South America. Sloths today are relatively small in size. However, their ancient cousins were different. There are sloths that are almost 4 meters tall and can weigh more than 4 tons. The giant sloths used to wander the jungles of South America. Their fossils, usually found in Argentina, Uruguay and Bolivia. It shows that they live from around here for 100,000 years to 8,000 years. Despite being able to walk on 4 legs, but they can still reach as high as they can and stand on the back foot to pick up the hard-to-reach leaves. However, like modern sloths, giant ground sloths has a fairly slow genetic rate, probably slower than anything alive at the time. Sloths can dig tunnels over 6 meters long, thanks to his giant sharp claws. However, we've discovered thousands of tunnels, giant rocks with digging traces of this species. It's another 10 meters long. According to geoscientists, these tunnels are so big, can be created by giant sloths through many different generations. And not merely, is it a sloth or a bunch of sloths? At a certain stage, Gigantomithecus, the largest primate, it used to exist on Earth, giant apes weighing nearly 300 kilograms. However, at the present time, we've only discovered a few fossils of this ancient primate. The archaeologists believe that they can be as high as 4 meters, and possibly the ancestors of today's orangutans, living in Southeast Asia, between 6 and 9 million years ago, when it went extinct 100,000 years ago. Based on the fossil record that's been found, paleontologists believe that this species was able to eat plants, fruit seeds, and can eat bamboo as well, while most of the prehistoric animals, at that time, foraging in both horns and pastures. This species, they live in a single environment. That's the forest, and when the forest shrinks, their food sources also. It's become rare. This is also the reason that made this giant primate extinct. In fact, until 1935, it's our modern people to know the existence of this primate, and then a paleontologist. The Germans found some teeth of this giant primate in China. And finally, the woolly rhino. Hairy prehistoric animals wandered in Europe. Furry rhinos look very similar to today's rhinos. Like the modern African rhino, they have a set of 2 horns, a big horn in front, and a smaller horn between the eyes. However, the difference with modern rhinos is that they have a lot of hair. The head and body are longer than the legs are shorter. The woolly rhino also has a large bow at the back of its shoulder. Before the extinction 14,000 years ago, the furry rhino has been wandering around. Its fossils were found in Spain, Siberia and South Korea. That rhino fleece? Sometimes they appear in pictures. Ancient cave. Although not often. Like a mammoth or a bison. By 2021, people in eastern Siberia came across a young, furry rhinoceros carcass, frozen in the ice. Permanent ice layer 9 intestinal preservation. The fur and even the horns of this animal. However, so far, there's still no AI talking about trying to reproduce or resurrecting the furry rhino in the way some people want to recreate mammoths.